This is the President of Turkmenistan, Mr. 97% of the vote. No wonder he's so popular. Look at this beatmaster go. I am a legitimate fan of his music. Before we begin, check it.
Here is a poem in flowers and trees. Here is a music in mountains and sea. Beautiful sights of rivers and sky. All other beauties in Turkmenistan.
Deryatı coşkun, bağları vasfan. Belent başı dağ değil, yürük asman. Gülleyen, güleşen, yedi diyarım. Aydın sağlar yurdu, Can Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan, Turkmenistan.
How is amazing the place I was at. Caspian waves and birds sing it down. Life is so wonderful in motherland. My splendid and dazzling Turkmenistan.
At its peak before Genghis Khan rocked up, there was about 500,000 people that lived here. I think there was 5 or 6 towns that were all in the space of this city. It was about 265 hectares. You think about this, it was only in the 1850s that London reached 1 million people. It's at 500,000. I'm pretty sure it was desert back then too. So in essence, good on them. Like top civilization effort. They would definitely get 5 stars in Age of Empires at the end. Looks like the old Silk Roadway was where the tortoise and the hare famously raced. Fuck.
We have to take the ass.
You can see its ass.
We gotta ask what that is.
How is amazing the place I was at. Caspian waves and birds sing it down. Life is so wonderful in motherland.
To paraphrase some ancient Semitic wisdom, okay, this is epic. Unfortunately, then Genghis Khan came along and totally owned Ben Shapiro's ancestors.
Oi, how much to piece off this? How much?
Oh, 300 manat. Do it away from our start. The guides are over there, but so just go down a bit there and do it.
Yeah, but that's not even like ancient, so it's not as funny, eh?
Yeah, man. Oi, let's find the palace and piss on the king's throne and go, oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was a toilet, bruh.
We're currently driving to Mary, which is the 4th largest city in Turkmenistan. And before you ask, is it named after the Virgin Mary? Look that up in your own time. I don't know. Psych! I actually do know. Oh, it's like if Tony Hawk was doing this voiceover. Trickster narrator. It's not. It used to be called Merv. It's home to the 2nd largest gas field in the world. So suck shit Algeria, but also suck shit Turkmenistan, because it's a landlocked country. Or to explain that in internet language, it's geographically cucked. They have to rely on Russia to distribute their gas for them. And so the Americans have been trying to undermine the Russians for years by building a pipeline that goes to India without their interference, and that is a major reason for the war in Afghanistan. But look, this is all just getting a bit too deep. Just know that this unknown city in an unknown country that looks like Paddy's Markets is the central reason for one of the longest wars in US history. And we only stopped there to take a shit. All of this nation's tourists, which from what I can gather is just Christo and me, use it as a pit stop to get to the ancient ruins of Merv, where this happy little character resides. That is one of the poverest dogs I've ever met, but this ancient UNESCO site is his dog kennel.
Dog lives here now. In a palace.
Yeah.
One resident.
Does he know?
So haunting.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like this in Australia, do we? We just feel like the Uluru was built 50 years ago. Wow. If you just put some tarp over the top of this, you could live here.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Isn't this all amazing?
Yeah, you can just trample on it basically.
Yeah. 4,000 years in the making. I think Yilmaz's ancestors would find it extremely disrespectful if I didn't say, no mercy for stooges. We'll have to recheck this, but I think this was Seljuk's daughter's fortress, and if so, no favors for anyone but the best.
Welcome to Jimmy's Bets Kebab. Look, dude, come over here. Do a voiceover for it.
Oh, we'll do it later.
Welcome to the best.
Shut up. There's people around. Idiot.
Merv is the Who magazine of ancient ruins. Everybody who's anybody invaded Merv. Alexander the Great, the Parthians, the Greco-Buddhists, who I guess in this analogy would be Beck Hewitt, because why is she in this magazine again? Who is she? Sassanids, Arabs, and eventually Yilmaz's ancestors arrived in the 12th century and presumably rejoiced by having 2 kebabs at once, which, if you're a new subscriber to this channel, insular joke for an insular country. Khan destroyed Merv like he did everything else. Honestly, what a shit cunt. The Gladys Berejiklian of the ancient world, setting everything important on fire. But even when walking around this hole where once one of the largest cities on Earthland, I know this is really lame to say, but you can really feel the history. It does feel like some little ghost of a Sassanid chick is going to skip past pushing a wheel with a stick. Anyway, seeing as it now looks like a giant BMX mound.
Oi, do it! Do that ancient parkour style!
Boys, Prince of Persia!
Oh!
Landed it, boys.
Medieval pranks?
Do you think this is where they filmed Star Wars?
Nah, they went like into the space to do it, hey. Like Elon Musk funded that
it was
shit.
on a different planet.
Elon Musk funded that shit.
Don't you think this kind of looks like a planet? Like, if they didn't have the budget, they could do it.
Yeah, but like, you can still breathe, so it wouldn't be realistic, eh?
It's strange to think that at one point in history, this was the epicenter of humanity. Now there's just a couple of guys smacking goats over there. Well, and some cows as well, I suppose. So there's still some action here, but it's not New York. And at one point it was. I think that's like a little chasm that Genghis Khan smacked down with a catapult, but I have no historical qualifications to prove that. But doesn't it look like a pussy?
Someone wrote Genghis Khan on it as well, was here, so I think it's right.
To the best of my knowledge, that's how Yilmaz used to tag when he was in year 10. His tag was Smeg. He's finally returned to his homeland. Because Turkmen means pure Turk.
Take that, UNESCO.
Now back to Mary, the city that never sleeps, home of the world's largest yurt, and this hilarious mall that is like walking into the biggest Greek person's house on earth. So much golden marble. It honestly makes malls in Chinatown not look budget.
Adana kebap, Adana kebap, acıktım usta, Adana kebap. Kebabı meşhur, pide yanında.
Oh, what a shit male model. I mean, I know we just came back from some of the oldest ruins on Earth, but I think this mall's better.
Kebap, bir pişi olsun, acılı olsun, sumaklı soğan, ezmesi olsun, bir buçuk olsun, acılı olsun.
$10 a can.
That's $11.
Outrageous. Caviar is almost the same as Red Bull.
Because it's from the Caspian.
Adana kebap, Adana kebap, acıktım usta, Adana kebap. Her yerde yenmez, Adana kebap, Adana'nındır, Adana kebap.
Then we went on the Trans-Caspian Railway. It was built by the Russians in the 1800s and don't think has been upgraded since. It was awesome though. I now know Tintin existed, and it's me, and my travelling partner Christo, Snowy.
We're currently on the overnight train from Merv back to Ashgabat, and the accommodation's great. Everybody's listening to pretty much Yilmaz singing rap.
But now, purely because I think this early morning footage of Ashgabat is cool, please enjoy Werner Herzog saying some dark shit over the top of it. The train pulls into Ashgabat at 5 a.m. This is when the people are most active because when they are hazy, they feel the least oppressed. The fog, a metaphor of their lives. Where are they going? What are they doing? What horrors lie beneath this trap door? The moving billboards of Ashgabat will never tell. We're safely back in Uday and Kusei's room from our overnight trip from Merv straight back to Ashgabat, which was great. It was like being in a moving camp, except for there was a babushka that you were sleeping with as opposed to one of your schoolmates. So that was a bad experience. The only downside I'd imagine is that the toilet was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Slab squatting exists for a reason. But I suppose, again, the second scariest thing I've ever seen in my life was toilets at camp. So it was like camp, except for every time you looked outside, it looked like you were moving to a gulag. It was the book Tintin. Last night when we were in Marie, which is the third largest city in Turkmenistan, we went to this, I don't know what it was like half club, half restaurant. It was an oligarch clubhouse because there was a woman who was turning 16 there. And you know those really high-class chicks that wear the trashiest clothes you could ever imagine? Just Gucci straight across here like she's a billboard. And she was partying with, and clearly you could tell she was from the oligarchy because she had no friends her own age. Everyone else at her 16th birthday was 70 years old. Anyway, there's a point where they all get up and start dancing. It was terrifying to watch. It looked like an orgy without any of the sex. And then after that came up this guy who started singing. Our guy tells us that he's this Turkmenistan pop star. His name's Soprano Man. He's doing a private function to about 20 old fat dudes and some babushka mums. And they're all dancing around him. There's a couple of 60-year-old chicks that are hitting on him. Christo starts filming this madness, and then this guy just comes up to us with a really scary Cro-Magnon face and just goes, no, 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 and then we put it away. I, up until this point, was completely fine. I could live in the third most oppressive dictatorship on earth. Up until this point, it's all been gravy. But that dancing was fucked.